Hey everyone, it's Ben Harder here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Ram TRX and how Ram TRX values are absolutely plummeting. Before we get into the video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Now this topic is obviously very personal for me because I own a Ram TRX, and so if the values are truly plummeting, then this is hitting me right in the net worth. I had to make the joke, but I want to answer a few questions with this video. So I want to answer the question of, should you still buy a TRX? If you should still buy a TRX, how should you go about it? And if you currently own a TRX, what should you do? Now we need to dive into the history of the TRX a little bit to explain why the values are going down as fast as they are. So the TRX was officially announced in August of 2020. It was announced as a 2021 model year vehicle, and you could order a TRX in August of 2020. Now, initial deliveries didn't happen until the end of 2020. There wasn't that many that were delivered then, but most of them started to be delivered at the beginning of 2021, January, February, March. A bunch of people that had initially put in orders in August pretty much had their trucks by April of 2021. Comment down below if that didn't happen for you, but for the most part, most people I've talked to were able to get their truck within that rough time frame. Now, for the 2021 model year, the TRX was an absolute home run for Ram. Now, we don't have official sales numbers from Ram because they just tell us how many 1500s they sell per year, which is over 500,000 units per year. But we have a lot of people that have dug into VIN numbers with TRXs and basically put together rough estimates. And so on the low side, 10,000 units for the first year is what some people have come up with. Some people have come up with a number as high as 15,000 units for the first year. And just to put those numbers into perspective, the Nissan Titan, which is an affordable pickup truck, only sells at about 25,000 units per year. And so the Ram TRX, initially starting at about $70,000, and most TRXs being ordered were closer to $100,000, is selling at a rate almost as high as an affordable pickup truck. Like, that just shows you how popular the TRX is. And on top of that, the TRX was released in the middle of the pandemic when a lot of people weren't exactly sure about their finances and sure if they should spend money. And so there was a lot of people that were willing to take that leap into purchasing a $100,000 truck for the first model year. But the first model year pales in comparison to the second model year. Now, for the 2022 model year, estimates put it at about 25,000 to 30,000 units. And if you look up used TRXs, it seems like this supports it, because for every 2021 TRX for sale that's used, there's like a million 2022s that are for sale. It's just absolutely bonkers. And to put that number into perspective, at peak Ford Raptor sales, Ford was selling about 30,000 Raptors per year. And so the Ram TRX was able to match Ford's best year in the middle of a pandemic when, again, a lot of people weren't exactly sure about finances and sure if they should spend money. And so that just shows you how successful the TRX has been. Like, Ram just absolutely killed it with the truck. But this is where the problems begin, because you have a whole supply and demand situation with the TRX. So again, with Ram's initial advertising on the TRX, they said, if you want a truck, we will build you a truck. And they have obviously done that, because pretty much everyone that wants a TRX has been able to own a TRX at this point, which is great news from a marketing perspective for Ram, because they fulfilled their promise, but is also not great news if they want to continue to sell TRXs, and also not great news for the used market in terms of pricing power with Ram TRXs. And I kind of expected this to happen, because you got to think for a second. The TRX market is only going to be so big because that is a very niche truck, right? It's not exactly great at doing truck things. It doesn't have a massive payload. If you get it configured in a pretty base way, without a sunroof, without the ram bar, without the tire carrier, then you can have a payload capacity just over 1,300 pounds and a towing capacity of over 8,000 pounds, which is enough for most people. But, you know, compared to some other modern half tons, that isn't exactly the best. And then if we look at it from a fuel economy perspective, yeah, it's not exactly great. Now, obviously, you guys know that I found that snow mode hack, which makes it so you can get like 14, 15 miles per gallon, which is actually really good. That's like better than a last generation Toyota Tundra. But still, some pickup trucks unloaded, you're able to get closer to 20 miles per gallon. And so again, it's not necessarily the most economical vehicle. And the problem is, not enough people have seen my snow mode video, and most people see like the average influencer video on the TRX where they're just doing launch control all the time, getting like 7 miles per gallon. And so the average consumer thinks that Ram TRX equals 7 miles per gallon, not 14, 15 miles per gallon. Again, what you can actually get with the truck if you drive it properly. And so again, fuel economy, that's the comment I get from a lot of people with the TRX. And so that shrinks the market. And then frankly, the price, right? The TRX now starts at $77,000, but nobody really orders a base model TRX. People at least the level 1 equipment group, but most people, if they're going to spend over $80,000 on a truck, they might as well spend a little bit more and get the level 2 equipment group. And so most TRXs I see are anywhere between the low 90s to over $100,000 for their MSRP. And there's only so many people that can afford to spend that much money on a truck. And so Ram basically has this group of people that can't afford the TRX. And then you have a smaller group of people that actually want to buy a Ram TRX. And it seems like they've gone through that group of people pretty quickly. Now, you will have people that will start to trade in their 2021 TRXs or 2022 TRXs, right, that have higher miles, that drive a lot per year. So that'll help Ram continue to sell some trucks if those people want to stick with the Ram TRX, but that only goes so far. And if we look at basically the prices with the Ram TRX over the last few months, it really shows, because just a few months ago, dealerships were able to get over MSRP for used TRXs all day, and people were just buying them pretty quickly. But now dealerships are struggling to sell new TRXs for MSRP, let alone used TRXs. Used TRXs are now going for under MSRP in a lot of cases, which is something that we haven't seen yet. And so the values definitely are going down. I've seen a bunch of TRXs now for sale for under MSRP. And on top of that, I've also seen several dealers with brand new TRXs on their lot for sale. This is something that also has never happened before. And so basically, to answer things in the quickest way possible, after we've already like 6-something minutes into this video, Ram has done what they said they were going to do, and because they have done that, they've met all of the demand, and so now we have a massive amount of supply starting to fill up the used market. Now, what should you do if you are looking to buy a TRX and if you currently have a TRX? So, if you're looking to buy a Ram TRX, make sure you get a good deal on the truck. There are plenty of dealers that are willing to sell TRXs for under MSRP at this point. And so just do your research, look at the TRX forums, and make sure that you are putting in a order for a TRX that is a really good deal, because that's going to protect you in terms of this decrease in pricing. And frankly, I still think the TRX is worth it, because Raptors are pretty much impossible to get at this point, especially for MSRP, and especially the Raptor R. And so if you want to have the experience that a Raptor or TRX provides, the TRX is still the go-to option, because it's still attainable and it's still in a price point perspective that actually makes sense for like the amount of truck that you're getting, especially if you get a TRX for under MSRP. Like, that is so much truck for the money. Now, for the people that currently own a Ram TRX, you just have to decide how long you want to keep the truck for. So if you're planning on getting a vehicle in the near future, you probably want to speed it up, because I think that TRX values are going to continue to drop a little bit over the next while. But if this is a truck you plan to keep long term, then just like a stock that you plan to keep long term, I'm not saying the TRX is an investment, but just like a stock you're planning on keeping long term, just don't pay attention to the prices, enjoy the vehicle. And once Ram discontinues the TRX, I mean, it's pretty much all but guaranteed that this truck will end up going up in value, because it's so iconic, and they're only going to build so many. I know that they've built a lot, but they're only going to build so many of them. I mean, look at the V8 Raptor. Like, the V8 Raptor is not nearly as cool as the Ram TRX. I'm talking about the Gen 1 Raptor, and those things are worth so much money. And so you got to think about the TRX being so much more desirable compared to that. It's going to be worth something someday. It's just, like I said in prior videos, in the short term, yeah, the values won't go down before they end up going up. With that being said, it's going to sum things up for today's video. Let me know what you guys think about this topic, and if you are considering backing up from purchasing a TRX after hearing this. And with that being said, I'll see all of you in the next video.